Hello. Today we will take a look at this new product called Mysterious Flame. It has an animation loop which you can last as long as you need, and it includes an automation script. This is an improved version of my previous one and has some new features. It is very easy to use. You just load the volume container, you activate the script, and you can preview and render like any other simple products. Okay, there are some material presets included, but you can customize the scripts. There are two scripts included. You can enable disable the automation, and you can also randomize in case you have multiple props in the same scene. Here inside Daz Studio, make sure you have installed the default resources for Daz Studio. So that's a requirement for use this product. So once it is installed in your runtime, this folder has the prop, has the materials and the script. For example, let me double click. You will see it opens like this. You will see this is a cube because I'm using the preview mode texture shaded, but once I change to array, you can see it appears. Let me change the background. Let's change the color here, and you can see you can preview because this is volumetric. I'm using a fast render settings here. I'm using 1 second maximum 25 samples. This way it is pretty fast to preview. This is a prop that you can scale. You can use the options to scale the prop, so you can change the look of it. You can animate the change of size as you wish. The basic options work as normal here. You can extend and rotate. You can also change material. I have some presets here. So you can start with these options here, and you can customize if you need. If you want to customize, you can go to the surfaces tab, and you can look for the, for example, volume options. You can see here you can change the volume file. It is using the first one by default. You can see here. Let me, for example, change for another one. You can see how it changed the appearance. So this is a starting point, but you can also change, for example, the density. Let's say we change to 0.1, or you can increase the temperature. You can experiment with the parameters and see if it fits your needs. It can be less emissive. You can change the color tint here, or if you want to go back to the presets, you just double click, and you have the presets. Okay, very easy to use, place in the scene. Okay, let's take a look at the scripts and the custom parameters in the parameters tab. Each node of this prop will have some custom parameters which you can find here under EV. It is auto loop start index, volume file index. Okay. By default, nothing changes because the script is not activated yet. Okay. If I move the timeline, nothing changes. But once I activate the script automation, these parameters here will control the script behavior. So let's take a look at the enable. You just double click the enable script. Once you confirm, a connection will be established, and you can see now the loop is happening. Okay, we can see the preview. Let me move here. You can see here how it changes. In real time, I'm using the array preview mode. So let's go back to frame 0. Let's double click again the script to turn it off. Confirm. It is now disabled. This is how you disable the automation. In case you don't want to run the script, to use the script, you can manually select here which volume file will be used. Okay, this is the normal use. Let's activate again. Now if the script is activated, you can see it will alternate the VDB file in the shader based on which parameters you select here. Let's go back to frame 0. Let me turn it off the auto loop. If I turn it off the auto loop, there is no automatic, the script is still activated, but there is no automatic loop happening. If I turn it on, the auto loop, and if I want to start on a different frame for the loop, I can use the randomize. Randomize will run on all instances of this prop. I just click and run. And now if I go forward and backwards, you can see it is starting on a different frame, 85. So if I run this loop, it is running for 96 frames, but it is starting on a different frame of the sequence. You don't need to change nothing in the timeline, but it will run in a different manner. A good tip here is that if you want to, let's say, let me put in 0. If I want to reset the parameters in Daz Studio, you can keyboard Alt. If I hold Alt in the keyboard, I can left click and it will reset the parameters. So I'm on frame 0 and I'm resetting the parameters. You can see it is all reset. One thing you might notice is that you have to always move the playhead to see the updates, because if I turn it on, it is not instant here. You can there is a message here when you activate the script warning about this. You have to move the playhead a little to see any changes you made here while the script is activated. Okay, but it is just a movement of the playhead and everything updates. Okay, now let's take a look at using the automation script to change the shader volume file, but not running a loop. I'm here with the script activated. It is already activated. I have the prop in the scene and the auto loop is off. I'm using 240 frames timeline, and the first frame 0, I have the volume file index set to 0, and I go to the last one and increase to 96. Now you can see once I move the playhead that a number changes here, but it is not related to the frame. This is because Daz Studio is interpolating between the first, which I choose to be 1, and the last, which I choose to be 96. So in the middle we have something like 43. This means that the animation it is effectively running slower. It is taking more time to reach the end. You can use this to your advantage to have a fine control of how it behaves in the scene. So let's say, for example, I want to start with the last frame of the simulation. So this is, I'm starting with the last VDB, which is 96. Let's go to the end and set to 1. So you can see it is ending where it was before it was starting. So now if I move to the start, we have here, this is like running backwards. Okay, you can see we have 51, 23, now 9, 4. So we are running the simulation animation backwards, and you can see this is changing the VDB here. This is a way you can control, fine-tune your animation depending on what you want to have in your scene. You can even run it faster. For example, if I go to the start, let's say I'm using file index 1. Remember to keep, in this case, keep the auto loop off. Let's say I want to go to 40, but I want to reach the end at 40. Let's say my timeline is 40. You can say here, let's say, here, let's go to the end. Now with a 40 frames timeline, I'm starting at 1. In the middle I have something like 44, and I end with the 96. So this means it is running faster than before. Okay, the animation sequence, the original animation sequence is running faster. Okay, now let's take a look at how to use multiple props in the scene. I can go to the prop. Let's load this one here. I have everything turned off. The automation script is turned off, so it will not run the loop. I'm using the 96 timeline. Let's place this one here. Let's reduce, let's duplicate, let's move it. Let's duplicate again. Let's move it here. Okay, let's change materials. So let's say we want to work with something like this. Let me save the scene. So you can see nothing is happening. Let's activate the script so I can double click the enable. Yes. Okay. Now if I move the playhead, everything is looping. But it is looping, you can see here, it is looping in the same manner. They are running the same VDB file. Okay, if I look at this shader here, you can see they are all using the same VDB file. We can also see here because they are using the same start index. Now let's go to the frame 0 and let's run the randomizer. Double click the randomizer script. Yes. Randomized for 3 nodes. Now if I move the playhead, what happens is that they are using a different frame of the sequence. You can see each one. This one is using 59, this one using 16, this one using 22. Each one, and you can have multiples in the scene. They are running a different, they are running the same simulation loop, but it's starting on a different part of the sequence. This gives an impression, and you can also rotate them. For example, I can select and rotate. Let's see, it is looking very similar. I can go to the start. I can rotate. Rotating it will help to add another layer of difference between them, so it will be hard to recognize that they are running the same simulation. So this is how you can achieve multiple props in the scene. This is very easy to use. You can change each one like I did before. You can customize the parameters here and it will behave as defined here. And at the end, if you want to render, you can render everything like you do with any other project. It is very simple. You just use the included options in Daz Studio. You don't need nothing special. You don't need to run using the scripts, because once you click render, you can render still frame or image sequence. It will render like you are seeing here in the timelines. The animations, all the customization you make here, you will see everything in the results. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you have fun rendering and see you next time. Bye bye.